and I think hell may have frozen over because I, of all people, am about to review a Taylor Swift album for the first time in my life. Not just that, it'll be the first time I've ever listened to a Taylor Swift album in my life. I was one of those girls who always did that. I'm not like other girls thing, and if something was too popular, I would just instinctively pull away from it and want nothing to do with it. I have been trying really hard in recent years to tamp down that instinct and just go with it and just see if I like these things that are current. And a lot more often than I've expected, I've actually ended up liking them. But for some reason, Taylor was a hard sell for me to even get me to give her a chance. This is the first time I have felt even open to the possibility of listening to one of her albums. So, The Life of a Showgirl came out today, and you would have to be living under a fucking rock to be unaware of this fact, right? So I figured, you know what? I suppose it's as good a time as ever to at least try to give this a shot. I mean, worst case scenario, I end up not liking it, and that'll be that, and then I know, maybe Taylor Swift's not for me. Or maybe I'll surprise myself and like it. I don't know. This could go either way. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm going through one track at a time like I always do with my album reviews and giving my thoughts as I go. So I've only heard one track so far. But I figure, we all know I'm such a basic white girl. It would probably make sense if I could find a way to embrace Taylor, since she's kind of like the current goddess of the basic white girls. Anyway, so the first track on here is called The Fate of Ophelia, and it's very laden with, for lack of a better word, folklore. Yes, I am aware that that is a Taylor Swift reference. That is the name of an album she did once upon a time. I've never actually heard it, but I know of it. So I have previously heard a grand total of 3 Taylor Swift songs, period. That's all I know. That's literally all I know. So tonight, this album has 12 tracks on it. So I'm going to quadruple the number of songs that I know by her just tonight alone. Not sure how I feel about that, but we're doing it anyway. But this first one, I have to admit, not crazy wowed by this first one. It feels like the most generic pop that you might find turning on the local current pop station. Just saying. Not trying to shade her. I am just being honest. This is like the kind of thing you would have on is background music, not really consciously paying attention to it. Sorry, I said what I said. The Swifties are gonna come for me, I just know it. I'm trying to be open-minded, okay? Be patient with me. Be patient with me. Anyway, but yeah, this one, I don't know. It feels generic. It didn't grab my attention, but because it feels so basic and like something I would find on just any old random current pop station, I could also see this being one that once familiarity bias kicks in, I may find myself enjoying later. So just because I don't feel strongly about it right now does not mean I won't change my mind down the road. I might feel totally differently a week from now. So just throwing that out there. So the second track in is called Elizabeth Taylor, which immediately has my attention, of course, as a Liz Taylor fan. But the song is far less about Liz and much more about, I would imagine, Taylor's track record with men. We all know the reputation of her writing songs for dudes she dumped or broke up with. So this kind of feels like it falls in line with that. But also makes sense that you would make a comparison to Elizabeth Taylor, who was married 8 times, right? So, I did like little nods to things like White Diamonds in there, Liz Taylor's perfume. It was a nice touch, but the overall vibe of the song, again, feels like that very generic modern pop sound that just, it's nondescript. You know it when you hear it, but is there anything particularly noteworthy about it? No, it's like very, very generic, basic. Again, I am not trying to piss off the Swifties. I'm not. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to be open-minded and understand, but so far, it has yet to click for me. Okay, so the third track in is called Opalite, and this is the first one I've actually felt a little more favorably towards and a little more strongly about. This one's more upbeat pop. It's a little bit more 2010s era pop sound vibe, in my opinion. You may beg to differ, but that is my take on the sound of that one. But lyrically, it's about like finding the right person after like a series of not just like bad relationships, but also just like bad things in general in life, having a rough go of it. So I respect this one for what it is, actually. I'm not mad at this one. I could hang with this one. This one's so far the most decent. Okay, so the fourth track in is called Father Figure, and this one I feel like almost has a Melanie Martinez vibe about it, so I kind of like it for that. And seeing how many tracks on here have like the explicit language warning, I was shook because I didn't know that Taylor Swift did that. I don't have a problem with that. I just did not know she ever did that. I don't know if this is something she only has done on this album, if she's done, but I don't know. I don't have a clue. But hearing Taylor Swift sing the words "'cause my dick's bigger," worth the price of admission right there, right? But yeah, it's kind of a interesting song lyrically. I can't quite tell if it's metaphorical, if it's autobiographical, or what is going on here. But it's like there definitely seems to be something at play with that one. But I'm not positive what. But I mean, I can't lie, I did enjoy this one. So the fifth track in is called Eldest Daughter, which I relate to. I am an oldest daughter. Stylistically, genre-wise, from what little I know, what very little I know of Taylor's career prior to this, I think this kind of sounds like older school Taylor with just like the acoustic guitar and stuff. The lyrics on this, poetically, I can appreciate even just reading them, much less in the song. It's kind of about like the fronts we all put on in life, and hardened ourselves to the world, even though deep down we're not savage, we're not a bad bitch. Like, she's right. She's right. And I mean, like I said, I can appreciate the artistry and poetry of the lyrics on this. So, I appreciate this one for existing. Okay, so the sixth track in, we are officially halfway through, is called Ruin the Friendship. And it is, well, I mean, partly what you expect, but also not. Like, it takes a dark turn I wasn't quite expecting, but basically, it's what it says on the tin about how, like, most people avoid wanting to ruin a friendship to risk seeing if they could pursue some type of romantic thing with that friend. But this one, she is regretting the fact that she did not with this person, and then they died, and she realized she should have at least kissed him, if nothing else. This one's like a little more upbeat, which is funny given what the song's about and how dark it ends up. But no, I like this one actually. So the seventh track in is called Actually Romantic, which it is not any kind of romantic song, by the way. This is Catty Taylor being catty. It's kind of like Shake 'Em Off, or Shake It Off. It's another song about her haters, but not just haters in general. No, the ones that both hate on her but are also like wildly obsessed with hating on her to where like clearly she has free rent in their head. This is aimed at them to the point where it's just like, it's actually romantic how much time and attention you spend on hating it. Like, I get it. Like, that's I'm like, oh, actually, I kind of freaking love the sentiment of this one. Apparently, I like Catty Taylor Swift. Point me in the direction of more Catty Taylor. But yeah, this one, I mean, it's got like an upbeat, poppy feel to it, on top of the lyrics being that what is not to love. So far, I think this may be my favorite. So the eighth track in is called Wish List. And this one, I have to imagine, is about Travis Kelce, aka person she's gonna marry, because the whole thing sounds like it's her waxing poetic and like thinking about their future together and all the things she wishes for them to have together. It's actually really cute and it's very bubblegum poppy, but like in an adorable way. Like, I actually really, really like this one too, to the point where I'm like, shit, I might start to like Taylor a little bit around the edges. Shit. But no, like, this one actually is like really freaking cute. So the next song in is called Wood, and yes, it is very much a double entendre. So it is precisely what you think it is. I actually wasn't looking at the lyrics when I listened to this one first time. I told a lie earlier. I started listening to the album a little bit on shuffle while I was putting my makeup on, so I did hear this one before. So this was my second time hearing it. But it took until like the end of the song, the first time through, to clock that she isn't singing about opening her eyes, she's singing about opening her thighs, and I felt really fucking stupid not catching that till literally the last time she repeats it. Was like, did she just say what I think she just said? Apparently yes. Not that there's a problem with that. I was just like caught off guard by it. I was like, I shouldn't be surprised given the context of the rest of the song, but clearly I hadn't been paying that close of attention. But paying attention this time, it's hilarious. And also I think it's like my new favorite. There's something stylistically about this one that reminds me of the Jackson 5's I Want You Back. I think it might be the guitar. Not positive, but I think that's what's giving that vibe for me. Okay, so we're getting most of the way through the album. Next track is called Cancelled, which, again, pretty straightforward what the hell it is. I'm not sure if Taylor Swift ever did get canceled for anything. I don't think she did, but maybe. And if so, I guess this is about that, and about the people that stood by her during that and all. If she didn't, I guess this is basically a work of fiction metaphor for if she ever did, I guess. But it's kind of interesting one. I'm not quite sure what to describe the genre or the vibe of this one is sounding like. But it's catchy though. I do like it. Okay, the second to last track is called Honey, and this one is her going on about how condescending it is if anyone besides Travis calls her honey or sweetheart or any other term of endearment that is clearly meant to be passive-aggressive in its nature or condescending or any other which way. This song is for that. It's kind of R&B, which is an interesting little bit of mismatch of lyrics versus song, but what can you do, right? I mean, it's not terrible, it just something feels off about it. And finally, the last track on here is the title track, which she did featuring Sabrina Carpenter on it. Granted, that said, most of the places where Sabrina pops up, if you hadn't have told me that's who it was, I'm not sure that I would have clocked that A is Sabrina, B is not just being Taylor. So it's subtle. Like, they're very similar. I never noticed how similar before until this. Lyrically, this one is kind of about, like, the catty, cutthroat, jealousy, rivalry, might be a better word, in show business. So, kind of interesting. But then, like, the vibe of the song doesn't really match the vibe of the lyrics, and it's another one where I'm like, it's okay, it's alright. So I think for me, I'm actually rating this higher than I expected to. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10, believe it or not. Yeah, I know, somebody who has never listened to a Taylor Swift album in her life before tonight, and I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. Which is not freaking bad, all things considered, because I thought for sure I was gonna do lower than this and then have everybody mad at me, but 7 out of 10, from a fairly unbiased opinion on this. That's pretty damn decent, all things considered, so I'm not being a blind kiss ass, I'm not being a hater, I am just kind of middle of the road with no dog in this fight on this one, so. That said, I'm like, I was able to hang with this one just fine. I could probably hang with some of her others just fine if I was able to hang with this one. I just have never had a reason to, so I don't, but yeah, this one is just, it's interesting because, like, that mismatched vibe kind of goes throughout it, I kind of figured the title track for this would be a little more indicative of the name of the album. We kind of lean into that more, but it doesn't really. My only hope is like maybe the visualizers when they release those, maybe they'll add something more to it. I don't know. But 7 out of 10 is still good. I'm not complaining. I do not feel like I wasted my time given this got a 7 out of 10. So that's about that. And it is nearly midnight, so this will probably go up technically the day after the album came out, even though it was very much filmed on the day. So anyway, you guys know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my eBay, my Reddit, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Get your name on the end card for a month from the time of donating. Anyway, guys, till next time, see ya.